in and predictions for emerging markets. Emerging markets rely on a number of factors for sustainable growth. These include, but are not limited to, keeping inflation under control, increasing manufacturing capability, acceleration of domestic spending, a strong currency, and increasing use of and demand for technology and transportation. Emerging markets that are capable of doing so will also benefit in the extreme by investing in and exploiting new and developing market trends, like agribusiness and food production. The world will have to double its food production by 2050. Attempts in many locations for regional self-sufficiency are inefficient and altogether impossible. Demand is growing in areas where food simply can't be grown. In contrast, globalization increases competition and efficiency. Efficiencies are key: production, trade, and logistical. Arts and entertainment. As new wealthy develop in emerging markets, so does the demand for luxury items. Beyond cars and private planes, yachts and racehorses, people who have become wealthy in their lifetime are buying art. In Asia and Africa, 97 to 100% of people with wealth increased their purchase of art and invested more time and resources in the arts. Traditionally, wealthy countries like most in Western Europe actually decreased their arts expenses and collecting since 2006. This is an indicator that purveyors of collectibles, entertainment, and other such luxuries have an opportunity to enter the market in these emerging nations and bolster their otherwise lagging industries. Biofuels. A subgenre of the energy category, the emerging biofuels industry has tremendous potential for both developed and emerging nations. Already established biofuel companies are beginning to develop operations in Latin America, Africa, Asia, and the Middle East, especially in the area of algae and Brazil's potential for sugar-based products like ethanol, biobutanol, drop-in fuels, and biochemicals is also being tapped. Major traditional fuel developers are also looking to emerging nations for industrialization of renewable oils like amorous crude and diesel made from yeast and bacteria-based oil. Seaweed is used for creating ethanol, methanol, and biobutanol because it is fast-growing and has a high sugar content. Banking and insurance. Of the top 20 international companies going public in the first quarter of 2011, 8 were providers of banking, investment, and insurance services in Hong Kong, Shanghai, Tokyo, Korea, Warsaw, and Oslo. The remaining 12 companies represented the industry categories of automobile manufacture, petrochemicals, healthcare, rail freight, mining, pharmaceuticals, real estate, jewelry, and travel technology solutions. Business infrastructure. Beyond financial infrastructure, emerging nations typically have gaps in their business services infrastructure on some or many levels. For example, countries seeing rapid urbanization may need construction, transportation, water and waste management systems, and more to support the safe and healthy lives of growing populations. Countries heavy into resources development, oil, mining, and agriculture, for example, require distribution systems infrastructure that includes everything from airports to railways, warehouses to heavy haul highways, etc. As we previously discussed, there are usually opportunities for companies to go into an emerging market nation and develop the underpinnings of the new economy. Climate change. In more developed markets, governments are beginning to require ventures that decrease greenhouse gas emissions. These companies are developing stimulus packages to support these initiatives. In newly industrialized nations, the technologies designed to prevent man-made climate change are just becoming a priority and creating opportunities for companies with previous experience in this arena. For those nations that are just beginning to industrialize, there is opportunity for anti-pollution industries to team with other companies to launch environmentally healthy initiatives from the onset. Energy. There are essentially 3 facets of energy in energy trends: traditional energy development, new energy development, and energy efficiency. Many emerging markets have natural resources like oil and coal that give companies in traditional energy development ample opportunity to improve their operations and export capability. In developed and underdeveloped nations, the demand for renewable resources such as wind power are creating tremendous possibilities for companies in these areas. For all nations, the ability to be energy efficient is vital, as energy efficiency is a profit driver. Energy companies are typically at the forefront of evolutionary needs for emerging markets. Healthcare and pharmaceuticals. 10 megatrends in global healthcare have been identified. They are based on population growth, urbanization, and increasing demand by the global community for equitable and universal care. These trends include innovation in technologies and delivery services, genome research and managing disease based on genome decoding, health care for longer living aging populations, managing rising costs of health care, dealing with pandemics, overcoming illnesses rooted in poor water quality, pollution, pathogens, and chemicals in food, etc., evidence-based medicine and protocols, qualifying caregivers who aren't fully trained medical doctors, patients driving their health care based on personal choice, and growth of philanthropy for care and medication in under and undeveloped countries. Middle-class commodities. As emerging nations urbanize, the middle class grows exponentially. This opens sustainable markets for non-luxury items that are desired but not necessary, such as brand-name fashion, appliances, housewares, cosmetics. Items that the middle class in developed nations have taken for granted for decades are now seeing expansive new markets in countries where the gap between wealth and poverty is being filled in by middle-income populations. Mobility. As we become an increasingly globalized community, the need for affordable, efficient, and safe transportation increases. This is a boon to the travel and transportation industry. Furthermore, as we travel to new countries to work and live, the demand for housing, real estate, and settling in services, schools and education systems, and even repatriation services increase. These markets and niche markets create many opportunities for companies in the business of moving, housing, and financing the lifestyles of an ever more mobile global population. Real estate. In the United States, it's expected that post-2011, the real estate market will show notable positive gains in Washington, D.C., New York, San Francisco, Boston, Seattle, Houston, Los Angeles, San Diego, Denver, and Dallas, in part because these cities are commuter cities for multinationals. Because of rapid growth and industrialization, Singapore, Shanghai, Mumbai, Hong Kong, and New Delhi escaped the first 21st century real estate crisis relatively unscathed, and upward mobility has continued to grow their real estate markets. In general, real estate markets flourish in emerging nations where the trend towards urbanization is ongoing and the middle class is developing quickly. Social media. As we become more mobile, so does our need to stay connected to our previous communities and build social networks in our new communities. As of 2011, in America alone, 57% of its citizens belong to a social network. 5 specific social media trends have been identified in 2011. Microlocation, or the marketing of social networking based on location or region. Smartphones, so we can text and email easily from anywhere. Portable internet. Groupthink, or the act of making product purchase decisions in concert with others, which can actually drive quality and pricing. LinkedIn and similar business and professional-based networks. And social search that indexes people only the same way Google indexes everything. Social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility refers to how companies commit to the economic and social development of the countries in which they do business. As we globalize, the business of social responsibility is evolving. Emerging countries still appreciate philanthropy, but stakeholder participation is increasing. Communities that once allowed outside benefactors to drive their reforms are beginning to drive their own, and essentially making their benefactors and investors comply to their demands. As the way corporations give back to these communities change, so does the need for support services like accounting and legal. Technology. Technology is now the foundation of business. Whether the need is for a computer that performs surgery better than humans, or better and faster ways to text your best friend or business associate, opportunities for developing technologies for emerging nations are limitless. Some of the fastest evolving technology-dependent trends are countries emerging as new superpowers, growth of e-commerce, the global trends towards online information reliance, outsourcing as a business model, megacities and commercial regions and corridors, green cities and communities, smart technology, e-mobility, and geo-socialization. Water. Globally, less than 1% of the planet's water is readily accessible for use. In most regions of the world, there are water shortages and increasing need because of population growth. Water shortages affect health, longevity, crop development, food production, hydroelectric power production, and much more. The amount of water on the earth is finite as it regenerates itself, but it cannot increase with population growth on its own. The science of water is becoming one of the biggest industries in the world and is the most vital to human sustainability. This concludes Business Training's video module, Trends in and Predictions for Emerging Markets. Thank you.